Is this thing on?
Are you ready, Matt?
You're listening to Box Office Bingers
with Matt Diaz and Ernesto Santos.
Good evening, folks. We have a wonderful evening's entertainment lined up for you.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Box Office Bingers.
And the only way that I know how to do it is to find you a bloody good dump.
He's my friend. I don't have friends. I got family. I can do this all day.
You know, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Box Office Bingers, the podcast that we are doing a lot more binging than going to the box office. I'm your host, Matt Diaz, along with my co-host, Ernesto Santos. How are you doing today?
Doing all right, man. We
Yeah?
also have Megan here, who's might be chiming in from time to time.
Yeah,
I'm playing Animal Crossing.
there you go. Yeah,
It's big now. Everybody's playing.
everyone. It's a new game. Thanks to Nick.
Yeah,
who-
who was here. He talked about it.
Yeah,
when
he
we were
talked
talking
about him playing
Sonic.
Animal Crossing. Yeah,
And I see he's been doing a lot more live streams.
he
lately.
has been. Yeah, it's a brand new game. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
So definitely with Sonic coming out to home streaming, if you guys want to listen to what we thought about it, go check it out. And if you're playing Animal Crossing, go check out Nick D_TV.
That's it. That's the
Is
one.
that right?
Yeah,
it is.
Nick D_TV. Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good content.
Look at that.
Yeah. So as we know, the world is changing right before our eyes. The coronavirus has affected all of us. Ernesto, how you doing?
It's just interesting.
Yeah.
It's hard, because just really, I've always appreciated teachers before, but this just really makes you appreciate the teachers because these are the people who deal with your kids
Yeah,
when you're not.
and you have the kids home now.
Yeah, and it's the first day was hard because it was just an adjustment because it's not the normal routine. Your body's used to doing a certain thing, and it's like this is all out of your routine, so it's like
Right.
you're not always just like on it to go to do what you need to do. It's just an adjustment, but this day being day 2 at home with them, it's been good.
Yeah.
It was much better. I got to keep them on a schedule.
Oh
Get
yeah,
up-
you have to. Yeah.
Get up at the same time, make it the same routine like as if you were going to school. We do a little bit of school stuff in the beginning of the morning, and I just tell them, said all the free time is going to be like in the afternoon.
Yeah,
But
okay.
then like after breakfast, we go like on a walk.
Nice.
Like, a little in the cul-de-sac, before it gets really hot out.
Yeah, get them
And
outside.
the people wake up, so empty streets out. They ride their bikes around. Came home and we kind of just take the day from there.
Nice. Just trying to keep getting a schedule going.
Yeah. So that being said,
Yes.
my list for what you're watching this week is it's not that high. It's
Not that high?
much,
You get-
which is ironic because I feel like yours is almost like the exact opposite.
Yeah, well, obviously I don't have kids as
Yeah.
you. So with, I'm kind of not always home, but like there's less going on. So
Yeah.
you're more inclined to what everyone else is saying just to stay home. So yeah, my watch list is growing a little bit, kind of testing out different things. What's interesting about this whole thing is that like pertaining to actually like watching things on TV and streaming, and that obviously that is hugely popular now because like what do you do, and like other people are picking up hobbies, but a lot of people are just watching stuff. And in my case, it's like, well, I'm kind of, since there's nothing to look forward to in the box office at the moment, since all the theaters are closed, now you're just kind of exploring what you're actually paying for, all these streaming services. So you go on Netflix, he was like, oh yeah, that's been on my watch list for a while now, let me go check that out. Or like you have like, you're more, at least I am more aware of really what's on the streaming services to kind of testing out the waters. And we'll talk about this later, but I even subscribe to Apple TV Plus since I have, I got a new iPad, and so it comes with a year free. So I finally remembered to activate it. And now I'm exploring all the stuff that's on that new service because we're home, a lot.
Same.
So
Because I remember we were talking about it at work, and I also activated my Apple TV.
We got something to talk about then.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be interesting. All
'Cause,
right.
I think we both watched the same show.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll leave that for a tease. We'll get to that in a
I guess
second.
we'll get to it in a
We'll see
second.
if we see. We'll see
I
if we
guarantee
both.
you that you're probably further than I am.
Probably. That's a good assumption for sure. But before we get to that, obviously, like we said, it's ever changing. All our lives changing. Not only are our lives changing and everyone else's lives is changing, but the movie industry is heavily impacted by all of this. So we're going to continue to keep you updated on all these new changes because this is something that that's never happened before.
Yeah.
Like, theaters are closed, big blockbuster movies are being pushed back. It's like it's crazy, especially for the movie industry. So I'll get started with Lionsgate. They had upcoming movies that were supposed to come out in early April. Annabelle, which was that horror movie that looked really weird. But I was into it, It had
Antebellum?
Antebellum. Yeah.
That's the one produced by Jordan Peele.
Yeah, that officially got pushed back, as well as a movie called Run, which was by the director and the movie that I really like, Searching. I know I've talked about that before, and he did one hell of a movie. I think it's one of the best movies of 2019 or 2018, whenever that movie came out. And he's coming out with another film called Run. That officially got delayed. That was supposed to come out, I believe, in late April, early May. And then they also pushed back Spiral, which was the Saw reboot directed by Chris Rock.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess if you really like Saw, I thought it was a reboot, but it seemed like there was going to be a continuation into the universe.
It is.
Like a story within the universe.
Exactly. I think it's called Spiral, the Book of Saw.
From the Book of Saw. Yeah.
Yes.
Which I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But look at Jordan Peele. He was a fucking hilarious comedian who started directing horror films. Mm-hmm. So who knows? I mean,
Chris Rock could be the next Jordan Peele. Who knows? I mean, I doubt it.
I wouldn't. You can't compare. Chris Rock is a fucking comedic legend.
But he's dipping his hands into horror, so it was intriguing to see.
I saw that Samuel Jackson's in it.
Yeah, he was in it as well, and I wanted to. And I'm a big Saw fan. Yeah. Like I liked the first couple installments. It kind of trickled down weirdly toward the end.
I liked 1 and 2, and then after 2, it kind of dropped off.
No, actually, I made it all the way to like 5 and 6. I was like really into it, and then
how many were there?
7. There were 7 that was like, here's a story. And then 2 years ago, they're like, here's Jigsaw, which was like an 8th film that didn't really work. But okay. And now Spiral, which would be 9. Wow. So, yeah, they're really stretching out this Saw franchise. So, who knows? And also, who knows when this movie's going to come out. But it's interesting when it does.
But they do this with serial killer. Like, how many fucking Freddy movies are there? How many fucking Jason movies are there?
For sure, yeah. And also like Halloween is most recently.
Yeah, but you know what? Halloween's doing well. But I guess I guess it just depends on the character.
Right, exactly. Like how much people are going to drive you back. And also like if you say, hey, this person's coming back from the original, that's always going to get people into the theaters for sure.
They're like, all right,
maybe
it's worth going.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back for the next Halloween movie. All right, I'll watch it.
Did you see that?
I did.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. Good. Yeah, I actually only watched the first movie because it was a direct sequel from Halloween 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so like I've never seen any of them before, but the new one looked interesting, so I just watched one. And then I think 2 days later, I watched the new one.
I've watched most of them.
You really?
Yeah, I've watched. Well, no, I wouldn't say most. Most of the most recent ones. Like I watched the Rob Zombie one.
Oh, gotcha.
And then H2O. I remember like being a teenager.
Yeah, I was reading about that.
I remember a teenager when the H2O came out, and then there was the one with Busta Rhymes.
There was one with Busta Rhymes?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was an interesting film.
I bet it
was fun. It was just one of those teen horror
films. Yeah, I get that. So those movies from Lionsgate are being pushed back. We don't know when they're going to be released. Sony Pictures has decided that Bloodshot. We just saw this movie in the theater.
Yeah,
we just reviewed it last week with Kirk on episode 20 of our podcast, and now you can buy it digitally starting March 24th, which is the time we're recording is today.
Yeah.
So it's wild to think that we saw a movie last week. And now, about 10 days later, like 9 days later, you can own the film because of our current climate at the moment.
Yeah.
So if you were interested, if you heard last week's episode and you're interested in the film, you can now own it.
Yeah.
So give that a go. Let's see. I just lost one. Oh yes. For the first time ever. Actually, no. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back for a second. Sony released a statement as well. So when they released that the information that they're putting this movie out on March 24th, they also stated that they are firmly committed to theater. So I guess this decision was not taken to, they took this decision to heart. It wasn't taken lightly, and they really wanted to. I guess they didn't want to do this, but because of the certain situations, they had to make a difficult decision. But with that, they said that they are firmly committed to theatrical expedition, and we are confident that movie theaters will bounce back strongly, and we'll be there to support them when they do. Mm-hmm. So I guess it sounds like they didn't want to do this, but obviously when they're closed, what are you going to do?
Exactly.
But I guess Sony's just kind of just showing their support to movie theaters whenever they reopen as well. So there's that. For the first time ever, on-demand rental services now put a name to these what Universal is doing. As you know, we talked about last week that Universal put out 3 of their films and Trolls World Tour, which will be in 2 weeks from now, April 10th, that'll also be part of this banner. That you can rent a movie for $20. And you have it for 48-hour period, that the movie that was in the theaters. So far, this is only with Universal movies. And they gave it a title of what these are called. And these are called home premieres, which a title that we've never heard of before.
Yeah. Because
they've never had to do this before. And also Amazon is dubbing it as Prime Video Cinema. At this point, can we just all agree on a name? Do we have to make up as we go along?
I guess they want to make sure there's a differentiation between them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because some people can go in there why am I spending $20 on a movie when this movie also just came out and I'm only spending $6 to rent it instead of $20. So I think they're trying to make it its own exclusive thing. That again, I don't know if this could be the new norm. This could be a banner that could be that we're becoming used to. They're also, I think it's funny. Amazon put their title as in theater movies at home.
In
theater movies
at home.
At home.
Well, they've been talking. There always been talk about them trying to do that. Mm-hmm. Just have it available for both. You can either go to the theater or you can just watch it from home for an upcharge.
And I don't know if that's if this will continue to be a thing. I guess if anything, this is the ultimate trial run for these movie studios to try, especially for Universal, because so far they're the only one that's doing it. You had a movie studio like Universal who decided to be we're gonna have you rent it for $20, and then, you have Sony Pictures where here's also our brand new movie you can just buy.
Yeah.
So and it's these movies are just released the same time as Bloodshot. The Bloodshot and The Hunt were released on the same day, but yet there are 2 different approaches for you to view it at home. So it's really interesting of different movie studios are taking what approach to get your dollar or for you to have access to see this movie. We're all going through home releases, but in a different way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Again, I'm not sure if there's a better way. And what do you think? Do you think if you were to put in $20, would you rather own a movie you didn't like or rent a movie that you liked or maybe didn't like?
I'm all for. I like to support the theaters.
Yeah.
I'd rather. So I don't know. I wouldn't do the movie on demand.
So you wouldn't participate you wouldn't participate in this at all?
No, because if I'm gonna go see it, I'm gonna go to the theater. If I want to watch it like that, I'll either just wait till it's on demand or I'll go to the theater.
But as of right now, if you wanted to see any of these movies that you didn't get a chance to see in the theater, say if you never got to see The Invisible Man, would you rather spend $20 to see it now, or would you rather spend $20 to own it if you had the option, if you really wanted to see it that bad?
I'll just wait. I'm gonna wait. There's so much other stuff to watch.
Yeah.
I said I'll just wait till it's eventually available on digital or something. Mm-hmm. For a much more. I'd rather buy it.
Right.
I'd rather spend that almost $20 to just own the movie.
Own the movie, right? Yeah. Okay. Whether you hadn't seen, but you're also it's a gamble at that point because you haven't seen the movie, so you're putting in $20 to own it and maybe not like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
But I'd rather spend the gamble than I own it, and then I can go back like, oh, here's this really terrible movie that I watched.
okay.
At least I own it for almost $20 as opposed to renting it. For
Right, because especially like because also part of the gamble, if you really liked it, then all right,
Yeah,
no money
exactly.
lost. Now I loved it, and I can watch it forever again and again.
Exactly. Because then it just gets thrown into the voodoo library.
Exactly.
And then that's the easy. If you really want to buy it, you just buy it on Voodoo for the digital.
Yeah. And speaking of different approaches, in shocking news at the time, Walt Disney Studios and Pixar decided to not only make their latest film Onward available for purchase as of last Friday night for the same $20 price, but they also announced for me, this really shocked me. They also announced that Onward would be available on Disney Plus starting April 3rd. For me, that's a power move.
They're smart.
It's a huge power
Like, why
move.
wait? We already pushed up Frozen. They're
Right.
gonna be home.
Yeah.
After they can only watch Frozen so many times.
Very true.
And you give them something that fresh and new to watch, they're guaranteed, almost more guaranteed to watch it than they would if it had been later.
Right. But now here's my question. Why give out a release date for their Disney Plus streaming service rather than maybe waiting a few days? Like, hey, you can buy Onward tonight, period. And then maybe a couple days or like maybe 2 weeks later, they'd be like, all right, well, now you can see it on Disney Plus. I mean, I guess in some cases, people can be like, well, it was like false advertising because you wanted me to pay for it when I already have Disney Plus, and then I wouldn't have paid for it.
Well, maybe they can sell it to whoever streams it. They can sell it to them to sell it.
Right.
And then maybe they have to, because I mean, how big are their servers to hold all these films? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Maybe they put it like on the next cycle. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You know?
The way I took it was like if Disney really wanted to take like all of your money, I wouldn't tell you that it was coming to Disney Plus soon.
Yeah.
I would just be like, you can now see it right now. So
Yeah.
go spend your money to own the movie.
Well, maybe they want to cash in on some of those digital sales.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, not everyone has Disney Plus, but I think this right here, announcing that it was going to be on Disney Plus as of April 3rd, I think that they are pushing people to subscribe to Disney Plus.
Of course.
Like, I think that for me, that was like the biggest move that they did. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we know you're stuck at home, and look what we just did. We just put Frozen 2 on Disney Plus.
And guess what's there now?
Onward, the newest movie that just came out in theaters, which you can hear our review on Onward. We interviewed. Oh no, sorry. Well, yes, we reviewed the film and also interviewed our good friend Alice. That was in one of our episodes. I think it was 19. I think that was the title.
Correct.
Yeah, so you can go look at episode 19 to hear our review for Onward. But yeah, it's crazy. To see that, again, another movie studio taking a different approach on where we are at the moment. Like, you can buy it, you can rent it for $20, or like Disney is fortunate enough to have their own streaming service to be like, well, you know what? You can just watch it.
Yeah.
And it was, again, it's so quick. It's weird that I just saw this movie in theaters, and now I have access to watch this movie whenever I want to with the Disney Plus subscription service, and maybe again, because I think with Onward they're kind of fortunate because they already had like their opening weekend before everything happened, so they kind of knew how much money they were going to get out of this.
Yeah.
So like I guess for them it was less of a gamble because like, all right, well, we know how far we can stretch this, and then we're just gonna.
This is smart.
Yeah, we're just gonna push it out right now.
Disney has always been the king of marketing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're gonna make the same move for like. I think Mulan is too big to make that call. I don't.
Maybe.
Maybe
for now.
Maybe you're right.
Maybe they're like, oh well. I mean, depends on what Depends on what's gonna happen.
Right.
And how long everything
yeah.
is closed and everything until everything goes back to the way it was.
I have a feeling that Mulan would not be given the same treatment as Onward. I think maybe if the movie was already released, then they might have it, but because it's not released and they feel like they're going to have like a huge blockbuster on that, they might do what Universal did when it's just like, we're just going to push, like, they push fast.
A whole year. Yeah, they're like, we'll just wait till this whole thing goes over.
Yeah, exactly. So I think with Mulan, maybe not a whole year, but I think they might, maybe like a Christmas release or something, bringing that family together. So on April 3rd, you can look forward to Onward on Disney+. Warner Brothers made a few announcements. Starting today, March 24th, you can now own The Way Back and The Gentleman. Those were definitely pushed up from those releases. Lionsgate also announced that I Still Believe, a movie that also opened with The Hunt and Bloodshot, that I Still Believe will be available to purchase on March 27th. So just mere 2 weeks after it was released. Sony Pictures, Bad Boys for Life. You can now own that movie starting March 31st. Paramount Pictures, Sonic. We just talked about Sonic. You can now also own that movie on March 31st as well. So a lot of these different movie studios are just being like, you know what?
Just release them.
Just release
Why
them.
wait?
Exactly. People are going to be home, and there's a good chance they might be buying it. So pretty much everything that came out between January and March 13th is basically available to own right now.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Everything that's already been pretty much released.
Pretty much released, like anything that had like the traditional theatrical release, or how big, or however big or small, is basically now going to be available for purchase. What looks to be by the end of the month, maybe early April. One movie that has been that was not released. It was supposed to be released on April 3rd. Paramount Pictures was supposed to release The Lovebirds with Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
The guy from Silicon Valley.
Exactly, yeah. So last week we said that we didn't know when this movie was going to be released. We still don't, but Paramount made the move to like, this movie is going to be available on Netflix soon.
Ooh. That's I think that's a smart move too.
Yeah.
Like maybe it won't be as profitable initially.
Right.
But if it's a good film and it hits Netflix, then it'll be popular. It'll get it from there.
Exactly. So I'm assuming like Netflix just like bought the movie out from them.
Yeah.
And then that's that. So that's one way of doing it as well. So Paramount Pictures, I mean, maybe a lot of theaters are just kind of like, hey Hulu, hey Netflix, hey Amazon.
Yeah.
You want these movies? We don't want to push them back, but we want people to see it. Yeah. I just hope New Mutants gets on that list. I'm waiting for the headlines. New Mutants available on Hulu.
Finally released.
Finally released. I just want that title for sure. So coming soon. We don't know when, but The Lovebirds will be available on Netflix at some point. And it could be very, very soon for all we know, since the movie's already done. And just today, as we were getting ready for this podcast, Warner Brothers made some more announcements that Wonder Woman 1984 has officially been pushed back. This movie was set to be released on June 5th. Now they pushed it back to August 14th. So not that much of a it's about a 2-month setback compared to all the other movies that have been released. This one has been probably given the least impact so far.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want to crowd it because maybe a lot of other things that were initially pushed back would be released during the time it's supposed to be released.
Right, exactly.
So rather space out to a time that maybe is they're guaranteed for better numbers.
Exactly. And and maybe they figured that August would be a good time, around fall time, that they might get better.
Well, right before kids go back to school.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. And it's kind of like toward the end of the summer. Now, summer is a big question mark.
Summer wrap up.
Summer wrap up, right? And we don't even know if we're gonna get like the traditional summer blockbuster season. Yeah, because we don't know how long this is gonna. We don't know. Yeah, the future's unknown.
Yeah, question mark.
Question mark. Right. So maybe they figured August seems all right.
Yeah.
And that's like a little bit of damage for that movie compared to Fast, where they're like, we're gonna push it back a year. Or it's like, again, that actually makes a good point. Like you talked about last week that maybe they had some filming issues, or maybe they wanted to redo the movie. So they figured that they'll get an April release instead of next year, or maybe like Warner Brothers for Wonder Woman's like, yeah, we're pretty much happy with it. We're just going to push it back a little bit.
Yeah.
On the next available time slot.
Yeah.
And then also, Warner Brothers also delayed, the release dates for these movies are unknown, but they delayed In the Heights, which I know, Ernesto, you were looking forward to this movie.
I was.
The original date was supposed to be June 26th.
Yeah.
And now we don't know when this movie will come out. And then Scoob, which was the Scooby-Doo animated feature that was supposed to come out on May 15th, it has now also been delayed. So we don't know when that's coming out.
I guess they want to make sure it gets its theatrical release.
I think, and also, to get the money that they invested into these movies.
Yeah.
Like they want like the proper money, I guess, or like they want like a good investment, a good return.
I mean, at least for me, within the Heights, they've been, because when I initially listened to the music and saw the show, like I would like look up news and stuff for it. Like they've been talking about the movie since I saw it, and this was back in 2008.
Oh, okay,
so it's
wow.
always, they've always it started as rumors, and then somebody had picked it up, and then it was dropped, and it wasn't until recently that it actually became a thing, and now they actually made the film. So I mean, I'm down to wait. I've waited this long.
Right. What's a couple more months or another year or so?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to eventually come out.
As long as it's good, right? That's
as long as it's good.
Yeah.
That means it better be good.
Right, exactly.
You have a lot more time to really, all right, man, let's go look at it again.
Yeah, let's fine tune this as much as we can.
Just one more time in the edit bay.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, where are you at?
Yeah.
Let's go. Can
watch it again.
Yeah, watch it again. One more time.
Yeah.
Just one more time.
From the top.
Put Hamilton down for a second.
Exactly. That's the next movie.
That's the next one. That's definitely coming out October of 2021. We're good. Let's focus on this one right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And then so with everything changing, like a lot of people are resorting to different ways to stay connected, I guess. And so I saw a lot of articles throughout the week about this Netflix party. Have you ever heard of this before?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah, it's a third-party website called netflixparty.com.
Yep.
And it's like an extension to your, it has to be run through Google Chrome, right?
Yep.
And if you download it and then and you set it up, and you can send a link to other people other people also need to have a Netflix account.
Yeah, log into their account.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they sign in, and then you can chat with other people while you are watching the movie.
So it's like you're watching the movie together.
Right, exactly.
Has Netflix commented on this yet? Because Facebook is already doing this, but they have limited rights on things.
Netflix said that this is a third party. This is not anything to do with us, but it's not illegal. So
because as long as you're logging into your own account,
right?
Whatever.
So,
pretty cool.
Yeah. So a lot of people are using that route to watch movies together while we are told to stay home and stay separated. So I think that's cool. Ernesto, would you do that?
Yeah, I'd do that. That'd be kind of cool, but I don't know how much I would write because I don't like to talk during the movie.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Like maybe we could talk before and after. Like, I don't know. Or maybe if you tell me you pause it, so if you got to go pee. Like,
yeah.
I guess you could take your screen with you. Yeah. But it depends on what you're watching.
Well, I was reading about it, and it said that one person you can have the option of one person having control of it, so they can pause and rewind, and the other people are just succumb to whatever you say, or you can give everyone control, and then it's just madness at that point.
It's like, how many times we gotta pause it? I guess that's what sparks the conversation.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna go get a drink. You gotta wait.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it could be nice for like quick comments. It's like, oh no, oh shit, that was funny.
Hope she looks out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Stuff that you would say when you're sitting together, right? When you're watching a movie, like those little weird comments. But like, I don't want to like go and I don't want to be reading like full blown like, oh, here's my theory on this while you're trying to watch the movie, or I guess or the TV show. I don't know. I feel like I'm impartial with the whole Netflix party thing. Like I like it. Because it feels like it's bringing people together.
I don't mind it, but like I wouldn't use the chat. Like I wouldn't use it as much. You wouldn't hear a lot from me.
Yeah.
Nor would I like respond like unless it's like really funny, or if we're watching a movie that I've already seen like 100 times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna add. That like maybe it's not for shows that like people really care about, but for like I don't know, social media shows like The Circle, that would be good to like comment on, or like shows everyone's already seen and it's just like college and you want to like put something on in the background. I think just for a reason for y'all to chat. And stuff
yeah,
like
just
like, do something
some
together.
way to exactly do something together.
That's a good point.
So that's in the world.
So it has its uses.
Exactly. Yeah. And also thing that's been popular, what I've been reading as well, is that people are going to the drive-in movie theater.
And that's so weird because we were just talking about
that last week.
Kirk was just bringing that up. And
yeah.
Then, like the next day, I saw it, and then I saw it. Somebody reported on it.
Right. Yeah. Like a lot of people are. I mean, because staying in your car is safe. And I've only been to the drive-in movie theater once, and isn't the sound through a radio?
Yeah, it's through your car radio.
Your car radio.
It uses like a FM transmitter.
Okay, and then all right. Okay, so I guess there's no reason to leave
speakers in your car.
Exactly. I guess there's no huge reason to leave your car
Oh, make sure you clean your windshield.
Yeah.
A lot of them have like concession stands though, but I think like some of the ones, like the one in Miami, they're doing like pull up service, so they'll come to you and bring it to you rather than you go inside.
Man, I've been to we used to go to them when I was a kid, or like when I was younger. Like they used to have them, like, and it was like this place called the Swap Shop in Sunrise, Florida.
My dad used to work there.
Oh.
Like was the one that like strung all the movies.
Yeah,
Really?
that place was awesome. That place was great. Like we used to go shop. I used to get clothes from there. We used to go shopping there.
Really?
Swap Shop is legit.
Oh, isn't it a whole flea market, right?
Yeah, it's a whole flea market.
That's right.
And then they have like a little circus thing and like a play thing inside. We used to love that place as a kid.
It was like fun spot, but like way better.
Way better than roller coasters.
Yeah. And then they had a drive-in theater. And they had like a little concession stand. Yeah, It was fun. It was good times. It's fun. It's fun going to the drive-in.
Yeah, my dad gave me like a really cool tour of it too, where like they have the little movie reels like hidden behind other shops and stuff inside the Swap Shop. And then there's one parking lot where they have like all of the spots slanted so that way your car can like tilt up into the theater.
Oh,
nice.
That makes sense. Yeah, because if everyone's on the same floor and you got a big truck, then you're like, hey, move over.
Move your shit.
I don't know
Park
why.
in the back. I know. Why'd you get...
I went full New York for some reason. Move over. What are you doing?
You're not even from New
I'm
York.
not even from New York.
Wow, man.
I don't know. That was my whoever's mad is instantly from New York.
You've had some bad experiences with some New Yorkers.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like a past memory, like a
Yeah,
twitch.
I know, right?
It's like that fucking asshole.
But yeah, I think the drive-in movie is a great idea. And also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you go to a drive-in movie, most of them are double features, right? Are you seeing 2 movies for the price of one when you?
Some of them do. I don't know for sure off the top of my head, but I know that. I think the one here in Orlando does. I don't know where it is. I'm gonna have to look it. I'd have to look it up.
The West Palm Beach one was double feature because there was like a Swap Shop mini that was in like Lantana area, and then the one that's like closer to Tampa, that I guess is like the Orlando one, was not like a double feature.
They just had
when I
one
went with
movie?
my friends, yeah.
Okay.
But like you could sit in your car and just like change a radio station to the one across the street and then like look in the mirror and just like see what's happening over there.
You seem very skilled at this.
I know, right?
Like, you already got it down.
It sounds like that you like if you have all the mirrors positioned correctly, you can be watching like you know what, this movie's bored. I'm just gonna change the channel and watch a different movie.
Yeah.
What's happening?
But yeah. I guess during these times, like I guess this is a good thing, a good sign that these drive-in movie theaters can still live. Because I remember also reading that like they weren't as popular as they used to be, and so like there weren't a lot out there.
Yeah, when you can go to the drive-in or you can go see a movie in Dolby.
But yeah, I think that's also an added little fun, kind of like a little light. At a little bright side, and with all the things that are happening right now, and
makes it less stressful when you have kids.
I can imagine.
You don't have to worry about people listening to your kids scream. You can just
true.
It's like, oh, this is just madness I deal with at home. It's like I can just deal with it in my own car.
That also gets people out of the house as well.
Yeah,
and then also you're still getting somewhat of the experience of seeing a movie on the big screen.
Yeah,
which is something we don't have right now. Yeah, unless you really have a big TV, like a really really big TV.
Yeah, it's also more affordable.
To see it in the drive-in?
Yeah, because you pay like per person, but it'd be like a few bucks per person versus like $12 for adults, $8 for kids.
Yeah, it's much cheaper.
Very interesting. I didn't know that. So yeah, things are definitely changing, and so like maybe a trip to the drive-in movie theater might be in my future.
Maybe drive-in movie theaters are gonna make an epic comeback.
Yeah, I think an article just came out that Orlando will be getting the largest one
for Florida, so it'd be larger than the Swap Shop.
Oh,
I think that's coming soon, right? That's not even because of all this that's going on.
No, this was before. The world kind of shut down.
Well, kids, if you want to go to the drive-in, go hook up your car. Go make sure your car audio is set up nice.
Yeah, I know, right?
Make sure all your speakers are working.
There
make sure
you go.
none of them are blown out.
Exactly.
Maybe put some subwoofers in the back.
You can also just bring your own snacks, right? You can bring your own food to the drive-in theater.
Yes,
right?
man.
Yeah.
You can just sit in the car. You can have a 5-course meal in your car.
Bring Olive Garden,
like literally, just pass that.
Everyone's having like a huge potluck in the theater
exactly.
now. Wait, hey, what you got over there? I'll trade you.
When I went with my friends, we had like fairy lights, and we had like the down blankets we took,
you guys
and
are
all
doing
of our
fancy.
pillows. It was fancy.
It could be your own temperature. I mean, it's the ideal situation for somebody who's like very picky about their current whatever space they're in.
Right, for sure. That makes a good
You just need to
point.
make sure you don't have those like automatic lights, because you can't have the AC on at the same
Oh.
time as like your car on, because the lights will just automatically be on and everybody around you will get pissed off.
Oh, that's right, because you can't.
Some cars you don't have control over whether the lights are on.
Oh.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
So do you have to turn off your car?
You're not. I mean, as long as kind of.
Okay.
You have
As
to
long
like
as it
have
doesn't,
to.
like,
You have
emit
to.
light.
You have to just like half turn it on.
Yeah, but like if you like just turn on your battery.
Right, for just so you can get the radio.
Right,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you
So
could turn it
dangerous.
on, like fully on, if like as long as your car doesn't emit lights.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
Or you just go with covers to cover your headlights.
Yeah.
Bring something to cover the lights so you can have your car on.
Little eye patches for your car.
Or you get those things that are like the bra, like for the front of the car.
There you go.
You know what I'm talking about?
Like for bugs.
Yeah.
I have a car bra.
You get one that just covers the lights.
There you go.
The more you know.
There you go. Yes, exactly. The more you know. So those are all the changes and updates that are happening in this crazy world we're living in right now. But now we're going to move on to what you're watching. So Ernesto, what have you been watching?
What have I been watching?
Yeah.
On Disney Plus, I watched with my son. We watched The First Kid.
You watch your son on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey! He was on the screen. No, we watched First Kid. You ever saw it? With
First Kid.
with Sinbad. It's like a really
Oh,
cheesy '90s
yes.
movie.
Was it a Disney Channel movie or just a Disney movie?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't actually. It might have been a 20th Century Fox movie.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm gonna have to.
Like,
Is this an older movie?
It's
yeah.
very-
Oh, yeah. It's like
Yeah.
either
Yeah.
early. It has to be like late '90s, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
Good. It was good. It's like.
Isn't Sinbad
super
like
cheesy.
this in part of the Secret Service?
Yes.
And
it came
he-
out in '96.
96. Okay, and he has to like take care of the president's kid.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
But then he has to like get his life together.
Right.
But man, like and then it's like almost pre-internet. Like the kid is on his computer. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm on the kid internet." It's like, what the fuck is the kid internet? And then he's like in a specific chat group. It's like snake chat.
In 1996, when we just didn't know how the internet worked yet.
Yeah, it was like, "Oh, you're on the kid internet." Ooh. What's that?
That's funny.
He there was one part of the movie where he's like, he downloaded this parent excuse app. So every time you say his name, like a different voice command of his would come out.
Oh.
But he got it from the kid internet. It's like Parent Tricker or something like that.
Yeah. What movie was? It feels like an updated version of like Home Alone, where like when like somebody thought there was adult in the room, then like a recording will play from the tape. Or no, the TV was playing. That's right.
Or Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's probably closer to that.
Closer to Ferris
Yeah,
Bueller?
because he would like step on something and it would trigger the tape recorder. If I remember correctly.
That's right.
And then that's what would play
Door.
that's right, yeah. Something would trigger the recording of
Right.
him saying something.
And now we have a computer from the kid internet.
Kid internet.
The kid internet to come up with parent excuses.
But it was just interesting. Like, there's no real bad guy. The bad guy, spoiler alerts from '96. The bad guy is a secret agent who originally was taking care of him, but got fired because a kid like embarrassed him in front of everybody.
Oh.
Yeah, and he was but they made him out to be like an alcoholic. And, yeah, and he was like an angry drunk, and then that he shot Sinbad. It was just
what?
Yeah, it's crazy. I was like, this is a fucking kids movie.
So how did it? So I guess you kind of answered my question, but like watching that movie in 2020, it feels dated a little bit.
But it's like a timepiece.
Yeah,
it's like watching
so true.
watching a movie. It's like watching like how you would enjoy an '80s film.
Right.
You're just watching a movie from its time.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay,
that was good. It was just like a.
How'd you said Julian? You watched it with Julian?
I watched it with Edwin.
Edwin, how did he like it?
He liked it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it was good.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, it was like kids, like whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Just moved on.
Yeah.
It's like all
Next.
right. We finished 1984, American Horror Story.
Oh. Okay, go
on.
Yeah.
It wasn't the worst season. Most definitely wasn't the worst season. But
It wasn't the worst ending either.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it, but you did not care for it.
I
right?
did not know. I mean, I will say this. I think it finished strong, but it was like if it was 10, I think it's 10 episodes.
I think it was. Is he? No, I think you're right. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think it was
10. Yeah, they had a week 1 through 9 then. And then
Well, it was always like dragging on for you. I was like, all right, I'll give it like one more week.
that's
like,
so true. I was saying that. Like one more week.
Was it just because you missed the character? You missed like the originals?
I mean, maybe.
Or you just really connected to those actors? I mean, they are those seasons are obviously stronger because of them.
Right.
So not that I think it has suffered, but I do think, I don't know. I liked it.
I think the story wasn't great. I don't even know how many times or how long we stayed in one night. We were at the same night for like
a while.
6 episodes.
For a while. It was almost like minute for minute, play by play.
Exactly. I'm like, when the fuck are we going to leave today? Can we move on? I felt like we dragged that out way too long, and I think that's, for me, this is like, can we just get it over with? And then it became to a point where like, I'm already this far, I might as well just finish it and see how it ended. But I will agree, it was like a nice sweet ending with the miserable 1 through 9, like I said.
Just the only thing that was weird for me is the one part in the finale when like the demon guy like chases him.
Yes.
He like throws a knife in his back.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you just walk away from that shit? You just had a knife thrown in your spine. But I guess it's just like one of those, like, in this universe, I guess you can.
Right.
You know, because obviously, you know, how much of it can you take? You can't be like, well, that would never happen.
Right,
it's like, well, guess what, bitch? Ghosts aren't real either. So, like, do you see ghosts walking around like that? No. Like,
I also felt like we kind of went all over the place. Like, there was... Like, it had, like, the obviously 1980s, but, like, from, like, slasher film vibes, and then we went into, like, this like you said, like, went to Ghost, and then we were over here and over there, and, like...
I'm fine, but I'm okay with all that existing, because that's kind of like what American Horror Story does.
Yeah. They
take you into, like, a semi-traditional, like, horror story route, and then they do some crazy turn.
Yeah, but there wasn't really much of a turn here either.
Well, I mean, they just, well, not a turn, more of like they expand more on it. Like they take
fair.
it, like they took like a Jason film and turned it into like a ghost story.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good way of putting about it. Yeah.
They expanded on the universe, like,
right,
on it. You know what I mean? Like they just added more to what happened.
Mm. Yeah, I really could care less about
the only
this
thing
season.
The only ending part I didn't care for was like the Jingles thing. I don't know. You just kind of like
it just kind of
ended.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Jingles was fine. It's been a while. I'm trying to remember it this season because for me it was easily forgettable. Like I couldn't really. Yeah, I'm done.
But are you gonna watch the next season?
Yeah, probably.
Because everybody's coming back. Mostly everybody's coming back.
Yeah,
next season,
I think with
the season 10.
Yes, I feel like the good thing about this series is that if you didn't like it, you can move on. It's an anthology series, so
it took you a while to move on after the last season.
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess there's not really a lot of reason to. There's still like you can pick and choose. Obviously, with the last season, well, not 1984, but when before that, Apocalypse, they were trying to bring all these stories together, but then they went back to their anthology series route. So, like, we're going to do this for the fans to put these stories together, but we're still going to make them separate at the same time. So, I think that whatever the next story is, I'll watch the first episode and go from there.
Okay.
I'll see where we land.
It was almost like the last season, not this 1984, but Apocalypse was like the end of the American Horror Story universe, and then this is just like a story within that time period.
I can see that.
They could always go backwards, and maybe that would be, to me, that like to make your universe story complete. Right. That would be the best thing I would think to do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because you can always go backwards and just tell different stories. You can tell like stories from the 1800s and shit like that. Like you can just go other routes.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know much about the next season. All we know is that there is a zombie-looking hand coming out of the ocean with a mountain involved.
I think it's gonna be Legends.
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 Explain.
So like think of horror movie Legends. So like the 1985 one that was homage to different like slasher movies, and there were different themes in each episode that like related to a slasher movie. Well, from what I've seen, I think it's going to be like different horror monsters that we'll get throughout American Horror Story.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I can definitely.
See, look, you're already on board.
So true. So true. I'm easily convinced.
That was terrible, but I'm ready for next season.
That reminds me of Fast. Wow, that was bad. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, man, those movies are so bad.
Yeah.
Man. Ooh, when's 9 coming out?
Yeah.
I'll be there opening weekend.
I'm also part of the family.
Where we go fast.
Yeah. Fast to the movie theater. Anyway, what else have you been watching?
All right. We also, like we talked about earlier, we activated our Apple TV Plus and we started watching The Morning Show.
Oh, we also
So good.
Yeah, we also started watching The Morning Show.
Okay, did you finish it? I'm assuming.
No, we did not finish it.
How far did you get?
We're halfway, so we just finished.
Are you up to date?
No,
Matt fell asleep in a very early episode last night, and I decided I didn't give a care, and I finished it.
Wow.
So
I'm at the end of 5.
She's at the end of 5. I was trying to rewatch a little bit from when I fell asleep, so I have 20 minutes left in 5.
I'm halfway through episode 2.
Okay, that's nothing to be ashamed about. Nothing to be ashamed
I'm busy,
about.
man.
You're a busy guy. What'd you think so far?
I like the way the story's going. The only thing I don't care for, at least initially, is Jennifer Aniston's character.
Really?
I just feel like she's like so over dramatic about like who picks the anchor seat, and I get it, she feels like she's probably earned that right to be there.
Right.
But I just feel like with everything else going on, like I want to hear more. I want to talk more to Mitch. About, like dealing with. I want to hear about what he's going. He's like he's got like a lot of shit going on. Like,
right.
Whether they're accusing him or whether like he actually actually mistreated these girls. Like,
right.
Like they're not even bringing up the fact that he cheated on his wife. Like,
correct. Yeah, but I mean, his wife left his ass.
yeah. Who, ironically, I'm pretty sure I noticed that is she's the teacher from Matilda. You ever seen the movie Matilda with Danny DeVito?
No way.
Yeah,
like the
right?
mean one?
No,
the
not
nice
Miss Trunchbull. The nice one.
Oh, the nice one. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I was about to say. I'm like,
she's obviously a lot older.
Yeah.
I'm gonna double check on that.
Okay,
but
okay.
I'm almost positive that it's like, I think that looks like.
I know you. You
Hey.
look familiar.
Hey, you adopted Matilda.
You have a kid.
Yeah, you're related to Miss Trunchbull.
There you go. Small world.
And now you're divorcing the guy from The Office.
Man, what all these worlds are coming together now.
But I enjoy it. I like Reese Witherspoon's character.
Yeah, she's good.
I like how she's very blunt and to the point. Like she's kind of like that voice that like everybody wants to say, but people are too afraid to say. Like she literally just doesn't give a fuck.
That's a good way of explaining her character.
She literally just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So I resonate a lot with her character. It's like, yeah, you tell that fucker off. I think it was either the first or second episode where she goes in for the interview after the president and CEO tells her, he tells her that he's going to set it up, and he told the guy last minute, and the guy's, he didn't really want to do the interview.
Oh, yes.
The EP didn't really want to do the interview.
Exactly,
with her.
yeah.
And then she just like totally noticed it. And she just blew it. She
called him out on
it in front of everybody and just walked away.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I don't know what's gonna happen later. That I have an idea of what's gonna happen. But
I won't spoil it for you. But at least to answer your question, you want to know more about Mitch. You'll get more of.
You
Mitch.
get a lot more of Mitch.
Maybe not a lot more, but like they are. And I think where we left off, because I think I woke up at the very end of episode 5. Yeah, I think we might be getting a lot more Mitch. What it looks like, but right now we are getting like little trinkles. Like, does that make any sense? Like, we're getting him sparingly. Yeah. We're really focusing on Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Anderson's character, and also the other people who are working in the morning show. Yeah, like we're hearing those stories and how their lives are being affected
by what's going on,
and how this is changing how they are working and how they're doing their stories and all that stuff. And then we are like, it's almost like we get a glimpse of what Mitch is doing right now. Yeah. But it looks like since I think 5 is halfway through, I think there's 10 episodes. It looks like we might be getting a little bit more of Mitch right now.
Did you ever watch The Newsroom?
Yes.
Those are like the vibes I get from this show.
This
which
show
is, like,
really?
why I like it so much.
Man,
Yeah.
I really liked Jeff Goldblum. No, not Jeff Goldblum.
I'm gonna let you sit on it for a second. I know the name. I want you to try to figure it out.
He was in Dumb and Dumber.
Yes, you got the first name right. His name is Jeff.
Jeff, you're killing me. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. It's Daniels. Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels. That's
Yeah.
right. Damn it. I'm getting rusty.
Yeah. Oh no, he was great.
He was great.
Oh yeah.
I always see that that video online. I think it's from like the first episode.
Yes.
Where he's talking about like he gives his very very strong opinion on the state of America.
Yes.
Like if it's like that, it seems like a little bit like it seems like it wouldn't be as intense as Newsroom.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean.
Yeah, it's definitely Newsroom vibes. Aaron Sorkin, who's the writer and I've also one of the producers for
The morning show?
No, not the morning show, for the Newsroom.
Yeah.
He's also responsible for writing The Social Network. So like that quick dialogue that you're used to in like the Newsroom, like and like you said, like the morning show is like Newsroom light.
Yes.
Where like the writing and like the quick jabs and everyone's being like on point and professional, it has all those vibes.
Yeah.
But what Aaron Sorkin has this nice little touch in the Newsroom, it's not there because the writing is like on point.
Yeah.
With the Newsroom, and I don't think we're quite there with the morning show.
Okay.
But regardless of that, I still enjoy the Newsroom a lot more than the morning show. But the morning show is still
new.
It's. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
No, I was saying, isn't it kind of like still fresh?
Yeah, it's fresh, but it's also it's still enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Like it's very comparable, almost beat for beat. Not what's going on, but like the vibes that I'm feeling when I'm watching both of those shows.
How do you feel about Jennifer Aniston's character?
I feel like she gets better. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
There's like it feels like she's whining.
Yeah.
A little bit, and you know we do spend a decent amount of time with her, and you kind of see her perspective. I don't think she's the strongest character there.
Maybe that's why I just don't. Maybe I need to see her perspective. I don't see her perspective yet because I don't know. We don't know a lot about her.
Right.
Because just from on the outside, it just seems like she's like very whiny.
Right. And then I feel like we're just seeing her process everything in a different way, and she's also trying to be professional and strong at the same time. Like she doesn't want to show weakness. And that's kind of what most of her character is. And so it's like she's like it's interesting because she puts up a front like when she's dealing like with all of her like with the network and all of her coworkers, and then like you see her go back home and there's like a breakdown. And so like you definitely feel that there's definitely a lot going on here. And also she's worked with this person side by side for the next 15 years, and then the whole world's changing.
Yeah.
And you didn't know he was even doing any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So and then,
we're not spoiling anything. This is like this is like literally you find this out
in
like
the trailer.
First 10 seconds of the show.
Exactly. Yeah, literally they open the show with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if you like what you see so far, at least you're still intrigued, keep watching.
The only thing I didn't really care for, maybe I just don't understand yet, is like she put her executive producer on the spot right before she went on to tell him to get her co-anchor approval. And she refused to go on, like 10 seconds on.
So keep watching.
I could already see that there's going to be some huge blowback from that.
Yeah, but again, like her just, it's like she's trying to make a power move.
Yeah.
And so she really wants to have control of who sits next to her because she has to work with that person.
But I'm surprised the EP just would be like, I can't do that. Just take a single on him. Take a single on that guy.
Right.
He's gonna start the show until you can pull yourself together.
Exactly. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like why you give I just don't. Maybe I guess maybe contractually. I mean I don't know her contract yet, or how it's supposed to be. Like does she have to be there? Like
right. I mean it could be. I don't know. I can honestly say I don't know what her contract is or like what the dynamics of that is. They don't really explore that in the show so far. Yeah. But it's definitely like I'm not going to go on air. That's the vibe that she was coming out.
Yeah, she said she refused to go on air. It's like 10 seconds out. Oh,
yeah.
As a floor director, I would be freaking out. Like 10, I'd be screaming.
She was the floor director was saying that in the show as well. It's like we have 15.
Oh, I wouldn't be that calm. I'd be going into my dad voice. 5, 4, like Thor. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. No.
Are you gonna move?
Mike and Q.
That's funny. How do you think it portrays I mean, because since we both work in the news industry, I think I was thinking about this myself. Like, how do you think the news is portrayed there? Like, at least like the behind the scenes. Do you feel like it's accurate?
On a souped up scale.
Yeah.
To me in this world, it seems like this show is like the prime morning news. Like, this is the morning news show that everybody watches.
Yeah.
At least the majority of America watches.
Right,
Like, they're on top and they're trying to stay on top.
Right. This is very similar to, like, if we're compared, like, the morning show is comparable to, like, Good Morning America or the Today Show that we're used to be watching here.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to get those, like, that's the vibe that you get. It's like a national
huge national network.
Exactly.
Morning
Yeah.
show news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. Like, there's other movies that I've seen that has, like, a newsroom atmosphere. I'm like, no. That's not how that
But
works.
also, I've only seen one newsroom.
Right,
So, like,
right.
for me, like, well, it could be like, I don't want to say that it's not like that. And then one person's like, well, you haven't been to this newsroom at this one odd station where it could be like you know what I mean? It could be like the exact layout of that.
Right.
All right, well, sorry, I didn't go to that one place. Like,
Matt becomes an angry New Yorker. You became an angry geeky guy.
just trying to make sure I come off correctly.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think if you like what you see, I think you're going to continue liking it.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy. I mean, it's the beginning of the show, and I'm already starting to remember character names. Like,
yeah, very.
Like,
true.
I'm already invested. Like, I will say, I really, really like Reese Witherspoon's character.
Yeah.
Like, I just like a woman on the edge. Like, she just snapped.
Yeah.
She snapped on that guy in the coal mine.
She did. Yeah.
But it's so true. You see people who just hop on a bandwagon and just don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, and then you get somebody who's done the research and knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And and then you have to really face them. It's like, all right, girl, I'm sorry, gosh. You like really made her step back.
I think it's side note though. I think it's very funny that we both started Apple TV Plus at the same time and also started the same show without even talking to each other.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
I had a feeling that that's was going to be the first one. Well, we kind of talked about it before.
Very little, but I just said that, I need to activate my Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
But I didn't say that I was going to, and I didn't say that I was going to watch anything. So the fact that we both did it, that just knows that we're just in sync right now.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
You feeling that?
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, yeah.
Also, and then to finish off, we watched, we said we were going to start watching some more foreign films.
Yes.
So then I watched The Platform. I actually finished that this morning.
Okay. All right.
So
we're
what
talking.
you got?
Yes. So in my
Give me your extended quarantine list.
the quarantine list. I want to give a brief update on my viewing of the Clone Wars. I was again like a show I'm watching in the background, but a couple of things happened that I want to bring up for a second. Okay. I watched. So again, I feel like the common theme for me watching this show is like this show is not for children.
Correct.
Right? I watched 8 episodes in a row that disproved what I just said.
So it seems like in the later seasons.
Yeah. So this is season 5, and we go from this like somewhat serious stories, almost like the start of the rebellion, right? Like the early stages of a rebellion being formed in the Star Wars universe. They even took what's his name? Forrest Whitaker's character in Rogue One. I think the character that he was playing was introduced in the Clone Wars at a very younger age.
Oh,
so you get
was it Forrest Whitaker?
No.
He's like, definitely not.
Definitely not. But it's like a younger version of the same. Because I've heard, like, when they say his name, I'm like, I've heard that name before. I looked it up on the Star Wars Wikipedia with all the nerd stuff on it. And sure enough, it's like, oh yeah, it's played by Forrest Whitaker in Rogue One. I'm like, holy shit, look at that. So you had that. And then you had 4 episodes, probably the worst episodes I've ever seen from this show. And it just 4 episodes following drones. R2-D2 and other drones going on an adventure. I could honestly give...
You mean droids?
I'm sorry, yes,
like
droids.
Like just flying through the air. It's like that's the whole episode.
I don't know why I said
it's like Galactic Empire. You're just following the droids. These drones flying in the air.
Yeah, droids, yes.
Yeah.
It was R2-D2 and a whole bunch of other droids for 4 episodes. And like there was like I was like doing something else while this was going on. I was like committed to watch, but I didn't care. And like wow, We hit an all-time low here. And then we also watched it also had 4 episodes of like these younglings learning to be a Jedi, which was cool, but it also had like it was very kid-like, right? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this is all family friendly in my book for the last 12 episodes, so we're good. And then they brought in Darth Maul. Oh boy.
I bet that changed that, huh?
Changed everything. We went from 0 to 100 real quick. Let me tell you this, Ernesto.
Okay.
Darth Maul, he doesn't fuck around. He is at this. I don't want to spoil anything, but I feel like this is a mild spoiler. I mean, this show came out a long time ago. I'm rewatching it, but there is a scene where he's trying to build basically this bad guy army, and he has like this one guy who's like his right-hand man, almost like his apprentice, and he's like claimed himself. So he, as you know, Darth Maul, he died, quote unquote, in episode 1.
Yeah, obviously that's not what happened.
Obviously, yeah, the show, the Clone Wars, brought him back into the fray. And if you're caught up with Star Wars, you know this, and also if you saw Solo, a Star Wars story, he made an appearance in that movie as well, so you know that he's around. He's not truly dead.
Yeah.
So in this show, he's like building his bad guy army. He's claimed himself to be the master, the true Sith, and he has his apprentice. And they went to go talk to these other thugs, and they weren't agreeing with him. So his apprentice has the double-sided lightsaber like he used to have, like he used in the first movie, Phantom Menace, and he unleashed the double-sided lightsaber. He threw it, and now all these people. I'm sorry, I skipped a part. All these people are sitting on a chair, almost like a governor style. Like I don't even like old timey, like everyone's just sitting at a table,
like an armchair,
like not an armchair. It's almost like an office table.
Okay,
you have all the people sitting down. You have like the one head guy at the very end of it, and like they're all just like looking at
like a big ass conference table.
Exactly, like a conference table. There you go. That's a long way of saying that, but yes. And so like that's the conversation that they were having. You had the one ruler of the bad guys and Darth Maul on either end of the table, and so they weren't agreeing with each other, and he just told his apprentice to take care of the situation. So he threw his lightsaber as it was spinning, chops off every head on the table. He beheaded everybody, and then he went like basically like the head of security. He's like, well, now you're in charge, so what are you going to do? And I was like, damn.
Wow.
We just went there. And not only that, then later he went on hand-to-hand combat with somebody, and then Darth Maul gets the upper hand on this guy. And like we've seen this guy around in like in the later seasons. Like he's been around, and then he's finally not finally, but he goes toe to toe with Darth Maul. And I'm thinking, oh, we've seen this guy. He's probably gonna live or being thrown in jail. Darth Maul gets the upper hand, chops his head off. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me right now?
Damn.
like 12 episodes of kids like stuff, chopping heads off.
Yeah, not for kids.
Not for kids. And then
so it's a trap.
It's literally a trap.
It's like, oh look, happy droids.
Yeah.
Death. Destruction.
Beheadings.
Yeah.
We went from like, I don't know, whatever fantasy kid show that's going on, and then Game of Thrones, like real quick. We just like, we don't give a shit anymore. And then the most insane thing that happened was like the Emperor. Like we haven't seen him this entire show.
Palpatine?
The Palpatine. Like we've seen Palpatine, but not the Emperor.
Yeah.
And he makes an appearance. And man, if I say that Darth Maul don't fuck around, the Emperor really doesn't fuck around. He's like, he basically just comes walking in here. He's like, yo, Darth Maul, why are you claiming yourself to be this master? There only can be one Sith and one apprentice, and you're not either one of them. And they just go on a full-on brawl. And I was like, I don't want to tell you how that ended, but I was like, again, damn, the Emperor does not fuck around. And like the way that the episode ended, I was just like, my jaw was dropped, and I was like, first, that's how this episode ended. Like that was the end of a 4-story arc.
Yeah.
So we're moving on to something else now. So I don't even know when the hell we're gonna go back to that situation. But I was just like, damn, I was just saying how this show was like meant for kids again, and then no,
they lied.
They truly lied. This show is not for children. It's a trap. You go if you're
It's a trap.
any adults watching it, preview it before you show your kids. It's
Make
not
the
a
decision before you
or
let your kids watch.
just maybe show them select few episodes like with the droids
Yeah.
and the younglings. If anything with Darth Maul in it, don't bother. That's not for them. So there you go. And then we Megan and I watched all of The Circle,
So good.
the social media competition reality show. So this was like the first show that we watched.
Well, first off, this was supposed to be a Megan show that I got to enjoy. But then I made the mistake and showed him the trailer of the show, and then he was interested, and then I lost a show. So we can only watch it together.
Yeah, that is correct.
Oh,
But it was a lot of fun though. I'm not really big into reality shows. Like I've only seen like one season of the Bachelor. Yeah. And so
You like The Bachelor.
no, it's The Bachelor.
Yeah, because you like all the women.
Yes. Yeah.
damn! Way to put that on blast. You like the ladies,
She's not wrong. If I had the choice, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. The Bachelorette is one lady and all the dudes. The Bachelor is one dude and all the ladies. So
Correct.
That's I'm gonna choose that one instead.
I'll see those crazies.
Exactly. I'll see those crazies. And so I'm again not big into reality shows,
Same,
but
yeah.
the Circle though, it's different.
Okay.
It's Megan. Can you explain how the show is structured?
Imagine how the world is now. Social distancing and isolation. And
Yeah.
you can only communicate with people like over text.
And social media.
That's exactly what The Circle is. It's
Okay.
originally like a British show. So in like the British TV, they're on season 2, and like we just got season 1. But everyone is confined to like these little like condos, tiny apartments, and they have to communicate and build some sort of social repertoire with the other contestants all over text message. And like playing stupid little tiny games that you would normally find on the phone.
Oh. Now, is it reality or is it like scripted reality?
It's reality.
It's reality. I think it's reality.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
they have to talk. They're like, "Hey, Circle, please text my boy Joey." Da da da, and then you'll see like it.
So maybe like
text in.
a game show kind of feel.
It's a little bit of a game.
Because
It's a
there is
little bit
a
of
prize
both.
at the end.
Yeah.
Whoever
Oh, okay.
wins gets $100,000, and
Oh,
you're kind of
okay.
like voted as like most popular.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
whoever's the most popular wins the big prize. It's 12 episodes long and they're about an hour long. They're kind of long.
Yeah.
And so, but what I really enjoyed about it is that I feel like with a lot of reality shows, you pick people because they can create drama.
Yeah.
And I feel like in this case, because these people are never interacting with each other face to face, the show is creating the drama. So like all of a sudden, like they'll be doing something, then you see these alerts that flash on the TV, and they'll be like you have to eliminate somebody, or you have to do these games, or you have to start. Like the show is organized to create some sort of confrontation, and it's not like these people were like going on blast and like hating on everybody.
Yeah.
That's not the point of the game. The point of the game is to be liked.
Yeah.
So you can't go in full hating people and start drama, because then you get your ass kicked out.
Interesting.
So in this
Okay.
case, it's almost like you're making a facade, like a fake version of yourself.
Yeah.
But some people go in there being true. Like, this is me. I'm not trying to be anybody else. Other people go full on catfish. And they're not saying who they say they are. Like, there was a guy pretending, like he was pretending to be his girlfriend. So he was playing a woman the whole time on the internet.
That's weird.
It is a little weird.
It's strange.
Yes, but it's interesting to see how it is perceived on social media, like how that is being how you see it on the other end when you don't know who you're talking to on the other side. There was also a woman who was overweight, but she decided to go in as a very skinny, attractive person because she felt like her true self would not be, I guess, popular.
Okay.
And so, like, and she gave her reasons behind it. And I feel like there's a lot of, like, good messages around this show that, again, the show created the drama and not the drama within the characters. So
Okay.
it became a little bit more enjoyable that way. And I will say this, that I never had so much fun watching a show with Megan. It's been a while since we watched a show like that, because now he's like, ooh, oh no, alert, what's gonna happen? And it's like who's gonna get kicked out? And then sometimes we'll pause it and we'll just chit chat real quick, debate. Like, I don't know, that person gonna be out or not? And then like you get like a little bit of a back and forth, and then you press play again and see how it all plays out.
Also, then like you said, that would be a good one to use that watch party thing for.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you watch The Circle with Netflix Party. And I think that'll be a great show. Like, you can just see everything
Have
unfold.
a great time.
Yeah, and you'd be
Pause,
like...
make predictions.
That'd
Yeah.
be kind of meta, though. Because, like, the whole entire show is, like, everyone texting each other, and then you paused it so that way you could type with other people that you're watching, and other people type with each other about.
Yes.
That's meta.
Yeah. Hit you in your soul.
There you go. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time. Actually, today, they just announced that The Circle and Love is Blind just got renewed by Netflix for not 1 but 2 seasons. So they
know what they got.
Oh yeah, Megan, you watched Love is Blind, right? You said did you like it?
I do like it. I'm just like I paused watching it because I got stuck on a certain point, and I'm still very annoyed, and I can't like get back into it because people are being annoying.
I see.
There's this one lady. There's lots of memes. She's like 34 years old, and all she talks about is how she's 34 years old. It's very annoying.
But those were the two just released reality TV shows that Netflix put out, and it's becoming widely popular. So I think they knew what a good hit when they got one. Yeah. So there's like, we're just gonna renew this, for like 2 more seasons because people are gonna watch it. So we watched that, and then we also started McMillions.
Yeah. How far are you?
We watched the first 3 episodes of the show.
You don't like it?
It's different.
I told you.
So it's really, the first episode was great. Like, I was super into it. But I wish, like, I don't know. They, like, took a super side story that we're following that I'm just not about. Like, I wish we'd stick to the story. And so the little sideline stuff outside of the whole,
Which one?
The Mafia.
Yeah.
The Mafia storyline.
You need to watch the whole documentary.
Yeah.
It's okay. I feel like right now I'm at a point, because I'm on the same page with Megan. I'm like, wow, I don't care.
You will.
And he's also upset because he doesn't get it because, like, you apparently raved so much about this show.
Yeah.
And then he's sitting here watching it like, what is wrong with Ernesto? Like, what? I don't get it. Ernesto loved this.
I thought it was great. I thought it was different. I told you I felt the same way in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Remember in the beginning I said it's not like your normal
You didn't say that, Matt.
No, I didn't. I did not say it.
I said, remember, at first I was on the fence. I'm telling you. It all ties together in the end.
Okay.
I guarantee you, everything.
I guess we gotta admit,
just finish it. Everything will tie together at the end.
Okay, I guess because like I said, we're halfway through, and
they're still laying out information to you. Like you're still you're still in evidence gathering mode.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
like you haven't even been portrayed. They haven't even shown you all the evidence yet.
Yeah, I will say that there was this one lady
with the red hair.
Robin.
With the red hair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. No, she's nuts. But that's not the lady I'm talking about. The African American lady who got tricked into this whole process.
Yeah, I feel bad for her.
Yeah. So again, like
a lot of them, they get tricked into being greedy.
Yes, exactly. And so like she had to like take a mortgage out of her house to win $1 million, but then like all the money was going to the mafia guy who was going to somebody else, and I mean it's definitely like a string of like it's definitely layered, and I feel like that I don't mind it being layered, but I think the biggest thing that's like really turning me away is like I don't care how they're telling the story. Like you said, like the FBI guy, he's animated, he's funny.
Yeah,
he can sell this show. He can be the whole show, and I'll be satisfied with it. And I understand there's different layers to this show, and I liked how this with the same African American lady, I don't remember her name, but she, like, we saw through the perspective of the FBI agent, and we are seeing it as, oh yeah, she knew she did something wrong, you didn't get it the right way, and they're getting you for all your lies and stuff like that. And then they, next episode,
it's her.
We focus on her, and we realize her struggles, and you're like, oh damn.
But it goes even deeper than that.
It goes deeper than that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you got you got to finish. Just maybe you just didn't like the whole ride.
Okay, all right.
But I guarantee you, everything ties together. They do a nice job of tying it all together at the end.
Okay, I do like their intro. It's a very clever
dun, and like passing the little game pieces. And
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. And it was like the paint that looked like ketchup and mustard.
Yeah.
And like it's going around. Like it's a very intriguing intro. Much like going back to the morning show, I thought that intro was very long and drawn out and
Yeah,
boring.
I was like, what is the part? Like, you should better off just not even having one.
No.
You
don't
That
like-
was a great intro.
No,
think
it's
so?
not.
Yeah, with the little circles
Yes.
going around. Oh, it tells a whole story. Like, sit and watch there
Okay.
and, like, interpret the circles of, like, how you fall around the one, and then the one is, like, absorbed with a whole bunch of different circles. Like, all of that is, like, metaphors for stuff, I feel. I love it.
Okay, that's fair. You know what? Maybe it's something I'm missing. Because maybe, like, you know how when we see the Westworld one.
Yeah, like
You
there's
know.
so many different hidden messages.
See, but look,
about
same
it.
thing. Like, we looked at it, we were like, oh, look, you see, like, the wings of Icarus. And
Yeah.
So maybe it's just something we're not seeing.
Maybe.
A lot of people don't see, like, Ozark as another intro where there's, like, certain symbols that are
Every
actually involved.
my wife actually pointed out to me that at the end of right before the episode starts, the O, it represents things that happen in the episode. Each episode is different.
You haven't. You just. This is like a recent thing.
No.
you picked up on? Oh,
This
okay.
is like we caught up.
okay.
We're ready for season 3 coming this Friday.
This Friday, yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's happening. And then I just
That's
it's funny we were talking about it at my parents' house. And they're like, "What's Ozark?" I was like, "Sorry, you don't watch Ozark?
What's Ozark?
Did I forget to recommend that to you?" Like, so they're like, "Oh, we're already almost done with season 2."
That's funny. But yeah, I'll continue watching McMillions, and hopefully, I will feel how you feel toward the end of it. But because again, since we got halfway through, like we were just chilling at the house all day, and I was like, let's watch something else. I don't want to watch this anymore because I didn't care for it. And
Fell asleep.
I
What is
fell
it-
asleep every episode.
What part of the story you said? What part about the mafia story don't you care about?
I feel like we're just. I mean, again, if everything's coming together, maybe it's just we'll get there. But it's like I think we started off like focusing on the FBI angle, and now like we're getting this drawn out mafia angle. And like I said, there was like this one little tidbit that like you saw you saw one way and then the other way. But like I guess I don't care about this family. And
It feels like a different story.
Yeah, it feels like we're telling a different story at this point.
The family is the main but you have to understand. I guess it's just giving you information on the family where it started from,
Right?
or
Yeah.
giving you perspective
Mhm.
because you can't interview. They don't ever interview the main guy,
Mhm.
but they interviewed pretty much his whole circle around him.
Right. No,
So I
get
guess that's them. That's like here. This is all the people who to give you an idea of who this person is.
Right. Exactly.
But I guarantee you, it all ties together at the end.
Okay. Well, we'll continue watching.
You might not even feel the same way I felt at the end. I really enjoyed the way it ended.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll finish it because like was reaching the halfway point. I wasn't sure if I was going to continue or not.
Yeah.
So
I'll finish it.
I'll finish it. Would you finish it with me or no?
After hearing Ernesto's re-pep talk about it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. And then when we decided to not continue McMillions, we saw a movie called Jinxie. Jinxie.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Megan, what do you think about it? You saw it with me.
I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of what?
5.
Out of
I was
5.
like,
Okay.
3 out of 10.
'Cause Matt had me start at the end, which really just felt like a ploy to like try and find out how I actually felt about the movie.
Correct.
Well, Voodoo. as soon as the movie over, Voodoo asked me a star rating. So I
You
asked
wanted
her.
to get a general census of the room.
Yeah, the room of 2.
Yeah.
Quarantine 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those who don't know what Jinxie is, it's a movie starring Adam Devine, and it's basically if The Countdown was a horrorized. That's not even a word. A horror movie about your cell phone, then Jinxie is a
Not
comedy.
a horror movie.
No, the Countdown.
comedy.
No, The Countdown is. But Jinxie's the comedy version of your cell phone.
I do remember this coming out. I do remember when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It basically the movie is like a very rude Siri, and it's
like a rude series.
it's like raunchy, rude
Oh,
Siri.
okay.
She's honest.
Yeah.
She's not annoying.
okay.
Yeah. And like basically this device, like he gets a new phone, and this device is basically taking over his life, and can control technology around it her as well. It was weird. And the weirdest part about that whole movie is they were forming a relationship. And then, like, you know what?
It was one-sided, though.
It was a one-sided relationship. The phone being, like, really into the human, being Adam Devine. And then, like, I guess they had sex?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. He unplugged and replugged the phone, like, from the charger. And then they did it rapidly. And that was...
And she was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's
there
weird.
were fireworks.
There were fireworks on the screen. And like it was fantastic apparently, and then at the very end they were like, don't speak of this, and like I won't say anything, and then it was really weird. Like it went that level, like weird.
It's almost like, did that scene really need to happen?
Exactly. Probably not. No. Like it was kind of a point where like the phone was helping him be a better person, so much so that this guy was like terrible at kickball. Couldn't kick the ball, couldn't catch the ball. He was horrible. And then the phone was like treating him a little bit better, improving his life, and then all of a sudden he's catching the ball with one hand, kicking home runs. I'm like, that doesn't work that way. It's not like you have like gym montages of you going to the gym. No,
it just happened.
It just happened. It's like oh, I suck. Now this phone, now I have a girlfriend, and I got a promotion because of my phone, and then all of a sudden I'm better at kickball.
Does she like coach him while he's playing?
No!
That would be nice.
Like, you know, if he had like an earpiece in, she's like, I'll talk you how to play the game.
No, not even that. I would appreciate that.
You know what I mean? That's what I would
yeah.
like, you know, give him an earpiece and then like, oh, like move 3 degrees to the right.
Exactly.
And catch the ball. Like that would have made more sense.
Yeah, no, this basically like this phone was very spiteful. Like he used it to get to work. And she was like, I'll get you to work. And it's like this whole way around. Like, you get there in like 3 days. Like, that's the quickest route. I was like, well, don't be a fucking bitch. I'm like,
whoa.
Yeah. So, like, he was like, the phone was very raunchy and rude. And, again, it was okay. I wouldn't say that I laughed much on it. But it's, you know, you're giving movie a chance. I wouldn't say it was a movie because you kind of knew what you were going into with that.
You knew what you were getting yourself into.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably cheap laughs.
Yeah.
Michael Pena was in it, which
he's always funny.
He's always funny. Maybe not in this movie.
Maybe not in this movie. Okay.
He was like the very like overly mean boss. But he was very like overly reacting to everything, and so he's like play me out, play me some music to get out of here, blah! And then he's like everyone's like do 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 do, and then he's like starts like dancing away like off to back to his office. I was like, again, weird choices that this movie made. Like
strange.
There's some talent here, just not anywhere here in this film.
Wow.
So yeah, there's
all right.
That. And then we saw the morning show, and so then that's our What You're Watching.
And well, we watched our foreign film.
Yeah,
so review.
Yeah, so like Ernesto said, we're trying to watch more foreign films, especially with the great turnout we had with Parasite, and we both loved that movie. And and during the Golden Globes, Bong Joon-ho, when he was accepting his award for best foreign film in the Golden Globes for Parasite, he said, once you overcome the 1-inch tall border of subtitles, you will be introduced to so many more amazing films.
Yeah.
And I took that to heart. I thought that was a good way to be like, you know, we should be watching more foreign film. So we thought it was a good idea to maybe see where it goes, but start a segment. We'll pick a foreign film of the month. We'll review it, and hopefully it will expand our horizons a little bit.
Yeah.
So this month or this time, we decided to watch The Platform.
Yeah, it's currently number 8 on Netflix.
It is, and it was it's a Netflix original. It just came out as of last Friday, March 20th, and now we're gonna review The Platform.
It's in Spanish.
It's in Spanish. Yeah. How did you view the movie?
Subs.
You English?
I use subtitles.
Oh, you use subtitles?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I chose the English dub option because I didn't feel like it was distracting. Some movies you put the English dub and it's like way off.
I just rather see I want to see their mouths. I want to hear what they're trying to say. Like, I don't want to see like the old Chinese movie where it's like, you know, you see you see the mouth moving and it doesn't match.
It doesn't match the words. Yeah, it was, for me it was fine. Actually, like, I wasn't going into the movie that way. Netflix kind of automatically did it that way.
Yeah,
And
I actually had to go and adjust mine.
Oh, did you? You did, yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay. I wasn't planning on going into the movie that way, but I was like, this is fine. I'll let it ride out. And then I had the subtitles just in case. Obviously, the subtitles didn't match exactly what they were saying. So for me, when I was listening to what they were saying, and then I looked down, I was reading the subtitles to see if they might have altered a word or maybe changed the meaning a little bit.
Interesting.
Like you got the idea, but didn't use the exact same words.
Really? They didn't match.
No, like the subtitles did not match what they were saying.
Interesting.
Because of the subtitles refer what they were saying in the movie. So like if you were reading the movie, let me reset. If you were listening to the movie in Spanish and reading the English subtitles, it's the same subtitles that you would be reading if you were to watch the movie with the English dub over.
Okay.
So like at that point I'm like, okay, so I'm still getting the actual text.
Yeah.
But I'm just not listening to it in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
So I was kind of like referring to it a little bit, just in case when like some things didn't really make sense.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's what you meant.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah. So what'd you think, Ernesto?
It was an interesting film.
Okay.
It definitely was, trying to give a message.
Oh yeah.
About the world, and they kind of just it seems like they put the world into this platform society type thing. Something that's just kind of weird for me that it and this is going to be a spoiler review, guys.
Yeah, this is a spoiler review. Yes.
Like they didn't do enough. I feel like they didn't do enough explaining like what that place actually is.
Okay.
And like how you can get there. Like they kind of did, but they kind of didn't.
Yeah, so I watched like a explained video, like because I wanted to like get some things that like I do that for a lot of movies.
Yeah.
It's like I watched the movie and if it had me thinking, I watch another video to kind of like maybe
have some things explained to you.
Exactly, or like a different perspective and something I wasn't thinking about, or I might have missed. And from my understanding, what this movie is about was like you went to this place, it acted like a prison.
Yeah.
But also, if you wanted something in return, you would also go to this place.
Yeah.
So like our main guy, he wanted to get his degree. So instead of actually getting his degree, he would have done this process, I believe, for 6 months,
something like that. Yeah.
And then
they never said.
He never said. I think it was 6 months, and then he would have obtained that degree, and I guess instead of earning it. So that was like a loophole in the system to do that. Other people were in there because they did something bad. That's acted like a prison.
Yeah.
And they either murdered somebody or again you did something illegal and therefore you were in this system.
Yeah. I mean, it was just I just wish they would have spent they should have spent more time in the film explaining that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't have to watch something else to have something that I didn't understand in the film. That means something's missing.
Oh, well, I didn't see it that way. I didn't think anything was missing. I was just kind of like there was a lot of like things that were meant to not be said. And
okay.
I get because like the movie was purposely not telling, like they want you to think about it basically.
Yeah.
It's like a thinker.
I guess
that's so like I wanted to see like this is what I kind of think, but I kind of want to see what other people thought about it as well. And that's why I watched the video.
I thought maybe they wanted to look at it like, how people look at like maybe like the world, like the hierarchy between like social classes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like you don't talk to the level below you.
Exactly. Yes.
The level above you they're not going to talk to you.
They're not even going to talk to you, right?
What did you think?
I actually really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I like this. Reminded me, speaking of Bong Joon-ho, Snowpiercer had like big Snowpiercer vibes.
A little bit. I can see that.
It was like
very post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, it was one of. I mean, we never saw the outside world. We don't know
which I'm okay with.
Yeah, me too.
I'm perfectly okay with. Well, they give you some. Well, actually, no. You're right because even the flashbacks, which I would assume are from somewhere
in the building. Yeah. Yes, I got those vibes from it. Like I felt like it was gritty. It was. It's definitely graphic for sure.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'll give it. There's some very graphic, intense violence. Like even like I can handle a lot of graphic violence, but there's some points in that film I was like, "Fuck, I need to look away." Like,
yeah, we went a little too far in some of these scenes. Yeah. The Snowpiercer did not go that far.
No,
for sure. This is definitely
not.
went a different level. But yeah, like again, going back to like you were saying, social classes of like you, and it's literally this as a platform. You are the middle class, and you are you're not really helping the lower class, and the upper class is not really going to be helping you. So you kind of just, again, and everybody else is like, once you go to the next level, you have the people below and the people above.
Yeah.
So like you are kind of fending for yourself, and as this middle square.
Yeah.
As you are. But I really enjoyed how they revealed information in this movie.
Okay. Yeah.
In the beginning,
yeah.
like the
I mean, I was intrigued. I mean,
Yeah.
I was intrigued to watch it. Like, I wasn't bored, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be hard hard to be bored during all this.
Yeah, exactly.
The old man, I thought he did a really good job explaining the situation.
Yeah.
It was and then things were happening, and then he would like explain like the events, and that's also exposition for the film. And again, like talk about like a screenplay to have like such an intricate, like literally levels that goes into what's happening here. So like you are in this prison, in this floor, that you are stuck on this specific floor for 30 days. And then in order for you to get food, there is a descending platform that goes to each level, and it stays there for 3 minutes as you are getting as much food as you can, and then after the 3 minutes is over, it goes to the next floor, and then you start getting your grubby little hands on as much food as you can get. If you take food, then your level will either go extremely hot or extremely cold if you are trying to store food with outside of those 3 minute window that you have to eat it. And then there's also a
I like how they showed how greedy people can be.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that was part of it. They wow, I just lost.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had it and then I lost it. But yeah, let's go back to the greedy thing. Yeah, people are greedy.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of this movie was like if the people on the upper floor and also on all the floors, that if you ration out the food would be available for everybody in the bottom.
Yeah.
But as we later found out in the movie, like. We also later found out that there were more floors. We didn't know how many floors there were.
Yeah.
We later found out that there were 333 floors, which was insane. And they said that the food kind of goes away after 100. So everybody from like 101, for example, to 333 are starving for 30 days.
Yeah.
And then the crazy thing about this, that after the 30 days is over, then you switch numbers. Like they gas you, and then you wake up in a different number. So you could be, and again, it's kind of going back to like, what would you do in this situation?
Yeah.
Where like some days you're better off. You got level 48.
Yeah.
Not as bad as the 200s.
Yeah.
So, but you're gonna be feeding all right. Some days you got level 8 or 6, and you're eating like kings.
Yeah.
And then other days, like we saw, like they went as low. I think he was like around 200.
202 or 212 or something
yeah,
like that.
exactly. And it's like you're not getting any food, and you're starving.
What I thought was really interesting is that every time that he would switch, he would go back and forth. So he started on 48, then he went down, then he went up. Like it seems like he went back and forth.
Right.
So almost like when you would go to the better levels, if you just came back from being starved, you're gonna be greedy. You're gonna be emotionally starved.
That's
like
a good point.
Like the guy said to him below, he's like, I didn't eat for a whole month. I'm gonna eat whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, very true. And like even going to that, like you, and I think the people whoever designed this platform probably wanted that way.
Yeah,
they probably wanted like
they created like a mass chaos,
right,
and anarchy.
And also people are eating because they don't know what floor they're gonna get in the next 30 days.
Exactly.
So like you could be down back in the bottom. And like, well, why was I starving myself up there, to make sure other people eat when next month I'm down there and I still get no food?
Exactly.
So they have like a moral question there of like, should I, like, because you're on top, should you help out the bottom?
Yeah. And
in this world, they didn't.
Yeah, well, it's very similar to how, obviously not everybody, but some people look like, why am I going to help somebody on the bottom? Nobody helped me when I was on the bottom.
Right, exactly. And that's a very good point. And so, like, when you get to the top, I'm like, well, I'm not going to help them. I'm going to feed my face.
Yeah.
And so for me, that was just interesting. And that all that information was, like, in like little tidbits throughout the movie. So like you learning more about this platform system, as well as like why are they here in the first. It's not really why are they here. It's more of like what would you do in this situation. We later go into the movie and he gets bunked, and also your roommate is different.
Yes. Yeah.
You get different roommates. So I don't know if actually not really. He got a different roommate when the other one died.
Yeah.
So
I guess you're you're right. Yeah.
So and also just crazy people resort to cannibalism when you're in the bottom floors because the old man they were sitting nice at like 38.
48. Yeah.
It was 48 and then they went down to like 202, 212 or something. And as soon as the guy wakes up, he's tied up to his own bed.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I said things weren't going to be pretty, and so I'm not starving.
He's like, and I like you.
I like you.
So I'm going to wait until,
Yeah.
And it's even sad when he even he's talking to him. He's like, it's almost like he really feels bad. He's like, it's that time. He's like, I can't even read the book anymore. Like, my mind is starting to get cloudy.
Yeah.
Like, I can't keep thoughts together. It's like, oh, yeah, he's getting hangry.
Yeah, for sure. And then he's like, don't worry. I won't, I'll take like the least
couple slivers.
Cover slip was here.
So
and then he said like the lines like, don't worry, I won't touch your genitals.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, thank God.
I'm glad that we didn't need to say that.
Well, if you're going to eat me, I'm glad you didn't start there.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then also, like, you can be paired up with a man or a woman, we later find out. I thought that was, like, a thing as well.
Yeah.
And then you also have another storyline of this lady, this crazy lady, just, like... this
platform right down, trying to search for her baby.
Right, and so, like, again, like, I guess that's okay. You can ride the platform down as long as you want. I guess as long as you're not eating the food. I don't know. Like, could she have just been eating the whole time as it's going down?
Yeah, but then think about it. You think the people are going to stand for that every level you go to?
No.
As you saw, once you get to a certain level, like, you just can't go down, and obviously you're just stuck there.
Right, exactly.
Because the lower you go, the crazier they get.
Right. And also, it was a point of, I guess, I'm not sure how this prism works, but there were less people in there because... at least 200 floors down, most likely most of the people are already dead.
Yeah, because then notice, the guy tried to count. He originally tried to count how many platforms there were.
Right.
But he didn't account that when the platform hits a level that both inmates are already dead, it just keeps going.
It keeps going down. Yeah. So it was more than what he thought it was.
Yeah.
I think there was a point where it was like 250. And then in reality, it was 333.
Yeah.
Fun fact, though, if there are two people on each floor, that makes it 666.
I thought about that.
Yeah, it was 666 around. That was the video taught me that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, good point.
Yeah.
But obviously, that number definitely goes down at the very end of the... having a party over there? It's... I don't know. I really like how they build the world of this movie, and so I can appreciate it. And then at the very end, where we had at the very end where like they actually find the child. We later think that the lady's gone crazy because they're saying there's no children in this platform.
But how long has she been there? Because that child was not a baby.
Right. It was like I don't know, 4 or 5 years old.
No, it was older than that.
Older than that?
Yeah,
6?
I would probably say like
6
8
or 7.
9.
Okay. It definitely looked healthy too.
Yeah, how is he surviving down there?
That was at
the bottom level.
At the very bottom level. And they were like riding. So our main character and the guy that he was bunked with, they decided to ride down the platform to make a point to the people up top. If they saved one piece of food,
to ration it out to everyone.
Right. And so like if the platform goes all the way up and there's still a dish left, they were trying to send a message of some sort. But then they later realized that the message wasn't the food, it was the child. And at that point, I don't know exactly what the message was there.
Yeah.
Like by bringing up the child, are you saying that, your system is wrong?
Yeah.
And you're having, this child in this harsh environment? Were they trying to save the child from this harsh environment? I don't know exactly what the child represented.
That's what I meant. Like some of the stuff is like, it's like what? Maybe you have to rewatch it.
Maybe it's a good rewatch. But I really liked the old guy. He was very creepy.
Yes.
And he was really obviously well, the word obviously was part of it
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
But he, he was definitely in it for himself, and he's been there for a while. But he was, I don't know, like he really wanted to. He understood the system.
Yeah.
And he went about it a way of basically just survival. It's like, look, man, nothing against you. You're a great guy, but I'm not gonna starve down here, so I'm gonna eat you.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how this movie plays out. So I really enjoyed it. I was really intrigued the whole way through.
I wish we would have seen what the life is like on the top levels.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. The highest we ever got was our main guy got 8 or 6,
something like that.
Yeah, he got like a really high number.
Like I want to meet the person on level 1.
Yeah,
like how greedy is that guy?
Yeah, I know, right? How much are you like,
picking out?
Exactly. But then like we did see a glimpse of the people preparing the food, and they're like,
well, that's how they opened the film, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
they opened in the kitchen.
Yes, they did.
We just didn't know what it was for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so like they were making the food, and like they cut back to it every now and then of like these. I believe that these chefs don't know exactly the world of the platform. Like
we don't know.
That's true. I mean, I assume they didn't know.
Yeah.
Like the lady who brought our main guy into the platform was in the platform herself. She admitted him into here.
Yeah.
And then she got herself in there. I forgot
She checked herself in. I forgot what.
I forgot the reason, but she was like, I didn't know how this system was, and obviously she knew. So I can only assume that maybe if she didn't know, maybe the people upstairs didn't know. I don't know. I'm just taking a guess.
Yeah.
But the guy was like getting like really, like the main chef, like the head chef. He was like really, what's the word? Like he really wanted this food to be perfect. It's almost like he was like the head chef of a restaurant and like making sure the food was going out with perfection.
Yeah.
And there was even one scene where he was like, he found like a hair in something.
That. Yeah.
And he was like seeing
checking against the cooks. Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing what color the hair matches and like probably reprimanding them for allowing that to happen.
Yeah.
But like you're putting so much detail into making this perfect, only to let it descend down into basically destruction.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they could care less of how the food looks as long as there's food involved.
As long as they get to eat.
Right. And so again, that's maybe going back to how
people look at food.
Maybe not look at food, but just look at like the present. Again, that's why I think that they didn't know the environment.
Yeah.
That they was going down under. Like maybe they felt like they were preparing the food for these gods, and in all actuality, they're more or less prisoners.
Or maybe they know, and then they know that's just part of the job.
The part of it just making it perfect,
make it look as appealing as it can.
Right. But it didn't matter. It didn't
matter. No.
Literally, like I'm hungry.
Exactly.
And then, like, but
strip people down to like their most animal instincts.
It's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
They even like went as far as to ask when you get admitted in there, it's like, what's your favorite food? We'll add it to the menu. Like, does that really matter?
Yes. And then there was that one part. He goes, "Oh yeah, they're the snails."
Yeah.
Which I thought was weird. That's what the old guy called him. He ended up calling
a snail.
He ended up calling him a snail. Even before, maybe I missed it when he asked him, but. Like, he started calling him that, and then that later just happened to be his favorite fruit.
Yeah, I don't know the reason or something behind that either.
He didn't say anything to him. I might have missed that part.
Yeah. But, I mean, all in all, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed how they revealed information. It might have been a little too graphic for my taste.
Yeah, I was a little borderline for me.
Yeah, it was like ooh, like we're going hardcore
part
here.
You see like a whole body cut in half. I was like, jeez.
And like this little rough.
It's almost like a movie would have been fine like without that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, maybe it didn't need it.
Yeah,
but it definitely added to like the gruesomeness of this whole movie.
It definitely showed you the gravity of the situation.
Exactly. Yeah. No pun intended with the platform.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I think it's definitely worth a watch. Like we said, it's on Netflix. If you don't mind gore, and violence, and grittiness, then yeah, this movie's for you. I guess.
Exactly.
And then quickly, I want to talk about Westworld. Did you watch the?
Yes, I actually did watch the last episode. I'm gonna have to. We can talk about it. I watched most of it, and then like it was during the kids were like winding down.
Oh,
so it was like we were laying on the couch. My wife fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Okay.
I fell asleep through some of the episode, but I did watch. They at the end they do the inside the episode.
Yeah.
So I saw basically what happened.
Yeah. I loved that episode. I thought it was great. We got introduced to War World.
Yeah.
So we had Westworld.
Where
Where Maeve is, and basically it's World War. That setting is World War II. But it was kind of cool to see a different world, more or less. We also, there was like not a big reveal, but I guess the other Hemsworth, his name is Stubbs.
Yeah.
I guess he was a host, and that was revealed in the second season. I didn't remember that at all. Not one bit. Like, I thought that was a big reveal in this episode.
It seemed like a reveal in this episode.
Yeah, and then
but they made a point to talk about it during the episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So maybe if you forgot.
Yeah.
But like they said because I also watched like the inside the episode part, and they said like, yeah, well, we had this big reveal in season 2. I'm like, oh, that was in season 2.
Oh, what's that?
I didn't remember that. I'm glad we revisited it, and you said something because I would have completely forgot. It looks like Bernard and him are teaming up.
Yeah.
So like they're on this mission to stop Dolores and find Maeve. It looks like. Mm-hmm. And Dolores, we did not see Dolores in this episode, and so she's still going on her way of like, kind of just eliminating the human race. What I really, really enjoyed, I really hope you didn't fall asleep through this, Ernesto, but there was a part where Bernard and Stubbs were going into the facility to find like more information about the situation, and they come across of like, he said, why are there like not a lot of people here, and I forgot what word he said, but then the camera pans over and you see a dragon from Game of Thrones.
Is it the dragon from Game of Thrones?
Yeah, it's so much so that the creators of Game of Thrones were the workers facilitating the dragon.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh shit! I didn't even notice that.
D.B. Weiss, I believe, is the creators' names. There's 2 guys that created the Game of Thrones show, but they were there. And then like they were like in the jumpsuit, and they were with their little iPad, and then like they were examining to make sure the dragon was a dragon, and then they went into a different room, and all around them were like Game of Thrones props, and you saw Westeros in the background.
Oh really?
And I was like, no way! If this show goes full meta.
That's funny.
And can we seriously go to a Game of Thrones world right now? Fantasy world, whatever you want to call it.
Game of Thrones crossover.
Give me an episode of them exploring the Game of Thrones world in this show. My mind would be blown. Can you imagine getting all those characters back?
Yeah.
And like almost more or less rewriting the ending of the show.
Yeah, and then everybody's gonna be like, "Great, they can rewrite the ending now."
Exactly. But just see like in like them exploring that setting and maybe being introduced to the characters we've all known and loved from the whole series, and then like seeing this show. I don't know. I'm nerding out right now, but I think it would be great if they did that. But I also really enjoyed was that we had like a huge focus on Maeve, and I really liked how we were, a spoiler, we later find out that all of this stuff is fake and everything is happening in Maeve's mind, like her in War World and her trying to get out. So basically,
it's a simulation. It's
a simulation, but like they were like she was stuck in her own mind and she wasn't out in the real world. And so basically it was her realizing that she is stuck in her own brain and she needs to get out of it. And it was just like, for a movie that makes you think, or for a show that really makes you think about everything, and now she's trying to get herself out of her own mind. It's just this meta weird thing, and I'm all for it.
Yeah. Same.
What'd you think of the whole episode?
I mean, I didn't get to see a lot of. I saw most of it. I didn't get to see all of it, but I enjoyed it. I think, but it seems like I missed like literally like the best parts, like the whole Maeve. I guess because I saw the inside the episode where they show the guy wearing the motion cap suit.
Yes.
Where I guess the guys are like, they're like trying to. It's really like Maeve like taking over like a robot or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I missed that.
Missed that.
That whole scene. Like I literally woke up and she wakes up. When she wakes up is when I woke up. So basically like the last 10 seconds of the show.
It was like the last 7 minutes or so.
Like the last couple minutes. But it took me a minute to figure out what was going on.
Right.
So I'm definitely gonna have to rewatch it because it seems like a lot happened.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say like a lot happened, but like it just hit it. Like there wasn't like a dull moment.
Yeah.
In that episode, I don't not to say that the show drags, but like
Definitely not.
I think what you said last week, whereas like I feel like this is the true motive that we're getting at.
This is what the show is actually about.
Exactly, and like feel like that's I can feel that vibe. It's like we're getting characters not reintroduced, but like everyone's coming to form, and I feel like we are preparing for some sort of showdown, probably at the season finale of some sort. But I'm all for what this show is what this show is bringing so far. The first 2 episodes are really good, really strong, and also for a show you're waiting 2 years between seasons, it looks pretty damn good.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
The special effects and
everything has been on point.
Yeah, like it's almost like we're crossing our T's, we're dotting our I's, we're putting the finishing touches. It's very polished.
Yes,
and I guess that's what to expect on a HBO show.
Yes, most definitely, all the time.
So I'm definitely in the bag for all of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it looks like that's all the time we have. All we got this week. If you want more from us, you can go to our Instagram page at boxoffice_bingers. You're going to see all of the top 5. Well, actually, new since we don't have any top 5s anymore. I can't do top 5 in the box office. But just this past week, we did top 10 on Netflix. I'm picking it the Sunday. I think it changes daily. But just on Sunday, you can look at the top 10 on Netflix to see if you can be interested in any of the stuff that they come out with. But yeah, you can see all of that more. And then next week, you can definitely, and probably now more than ever, look forward to new to streaming to see what you can. Since you got nothing else to watch in the theater, you can definitely see, if you have any of these streaming services, what's coming new, so you can look forward to and don't miss anything of importance, so you can watch your streaming services. So and then also, thank you, Megan, for chiming in when you want to. Yes.
Anytime.
Yes. Just kind of giving us different perspective on different shows, and I appreciate you just being, just chiming in on the show. It was nice.
You.
Thank you. Anyway, I've been Matt Diaz.
Ernesto Santos.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.